And that brings us to our next segment here. What would we change? Some people ask, what would Jesus do? What would David and Tarian do when it comes to things that we would have changed with this film? And so, with that being said, I'm going to lead into this and tell you that there is nothing that I would change for this film, and I'm going to be biased in this opinion, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm biased in this opinion that, to me, there are certain moments in life, no matter whether you're an athlete, an artist, a fireman, a police officer, a atheist, whatever you choose to be, there are certain moments in your life to where you have to pay homage and to really, really pay tribute to those of you who truly believed in you. And if again, my brother, you have to understand, like, my brother, he's 8 years older than me, and again, I'm almost certain I would not be in film if it was not for him. I have to always give him credit for that, because he could have, he could have been like, okay, you're not gonna watch TV. I'm gonna take you to the football field. I'm gonna take you to the library. I'm gonna take you here. I'm gonna take you there. I'm gonna take you around a bunch of girls, which he
I
eventually
like that you're
did.
trying to soften this up.
No, I'm not.
You're trying to take the edge off me before we get into this and make me feel bad for everything I'm about to say. Like, this is.
Here's the thing. I don't believe that universally there's a perfect film. No perfect film has ever been made. However, I do believe, based off our demographics, how we're born, and then what we experience in life, there are perfect films to us. I have a couple of films that are perfect to me, such as Coming to America, Jackie Brown. There's probably a few more that
Office Space on there?
Yes. Thank you. Good pull. Great pull. Great pull. Yes, Office Space is definitely on there. And yeah, definitely Office Space is on there. So yeah, Jackie Brown, Office Space, and Coming to America probably rounds out how I feel about my film. But with that being said, as far as what
I'm saying so much for having nothing on that page.
Right, but here's the thing, because you have to understand there's nothing on this page, because again, you have to understand why I won't change it. Normally, I'm speaking from a place of creativity and artistic and experience. Again, we respect each other because of I really truly believe this. The reason why me and you are so close is because of the fact that we never asked each other what we didn't know. Innately, when you know that you're passionate about film, you know what it's like to be around somebody that's passionate for film and art. And so that's why me and you've been so connected. So for me to say, like, I'll be honest with you guys, when he says there's nothing on my page, there's nothing on this page that I would change, nothing that I could write down, because sometimes you can't put things into words. And the reason why I wouldn't change anything about this film, because this film is the same reason that my brother decided to. You have to understand, my first few years, my brother would tell me to watch stuff, but this was the first time I had ever heard my brother say, it was a nostalgia moment for me, turn to channel 48, like, out of nowhere, like he meant, he came in here, like, I didn't do it, like, did you watch, like, he needed me to know, like, everything I had been teaching you for years. Like, he's trying to tell me, motherfucker, fucking Beetlejuice is in this film, Smokey is in this film, Batman is in this film, A Lone Kiss Goodnight is in this film, Pulp Fiction is in this film, motherfucking Django Unchained is in this film. My brother's trying to tell me, like, listen, everything this is the culmination of it. And so that's why you have to understand, like, to me, he didn't do this for me for Pulp Fiction, even because he was like, okay, once I turn Tarian onto this, he'll find the rest. But you have to understand, to me, a big brother means so much to me, and to me, for not having a father figure since I was 3 years old, is my brother. And my brother could have told me anything. If there's a reason, he got me into Oz, and one of the things I love about Oz, there was a scene where the guy in the wheelchair tells the older guy, like, you got me into selling drugs and I'm in this wheelchair, but you could have got me into anything, and I would have been different. And so I look at it and know the life that my brother came from, and to have him say, I don't want my brother to be like that. I realize my brother doesn't have a father figure, and I got to be that guy. Like, I don't think a lot of people resonate with that, and to me, that means something to me, because my brother tapped into the one thing I happen to be awesome at. So with that being said, guys, to me, what would I change about this film? I wouldn't change anything, because this film was made, long story short, this film was made for whatever reason. It allowed my brother to make me really take my filmography serious and really get into film. And because of that, it's allowed me to get where I'm at today. So it's nothing I would change about this film.
You know, I wish Quentin Tarantino would have also made A Long Story Short. But I'm sitting here I'm trying to hear what you're saying, but not let it absorb too much, because I feel like you're emotionally manipulating right now.
I'm not, because I saw Saving Private Ryan, so I'm not. I know what it's like to watch a movie that's way too long.
How long? All right.
3 hours and 12 minutes.
Okay, that is obscene. But 2 hours and 40 minutes.
No, that's a lot of scenes.
I've never had so much on a page for room for improvement in
You
this
haven't.
season than I have for
I
this
almost thought that was
movie.
your talking points.
And again, I don't know if this is because there's more to improve in this movie than there is.
I think it's more you're frustrated with. I don't think there's an improvement.
I think it was that, and just because I have higher
Okay,
expectations.
I want you to go. This is the first time we've ever done this TTFT excuse list. I want you to go down your list, and I guarantee you, I will counteract everything you're going to say. Number one, go.
I'm sure you're gonna try.
Go.
To.
No,
Okay.
try.
When Ray and Mark are interrogating Jackie, they the first time when they catch her with the bag, they bring her back. They're sitting in the office. They say, "Let's see what else is in that bag," and they
Correct.
let her just go into the bag. They're sitting right there.
She doesn't go into the bag. You're
She
wrong.
does.
No,
she pulls everything out of the bag.
Eventually she does. Eventually, yes.
Yeah, and they
Okay.
let her. Like,
Yeah.
in a actual realistic situation, what if there was a loaded gun in that bag and she pop, pop, you're both done? Like, in no sense would they would have let her go through the bag. They would have got
That's
up
not true.
went
And let me
through
go
the
ahead
bag.
and let me go ahead and school you on this. Clearly, you went to film school, but not mine. What happened here was that they knew that they were towing the line of the law. So when they were towing the line of the law, which their characters were set up for that, they did not have a search warrant to go through her bag. So in order to find out what's within there, they had to let her go through it. And you're right, they took the risk of being not Vargas. He's just being a prick. Michael Keaton's character took the risk of That's why. Guess what? That's why they had one cop in front of the bag and one cop away, just to cover it. So that's what happened there.
Okay, I'll give you that one.
Okay.
So you're talking about going to different film schools.
Mm-hmm.
Did the film school you go to tell you to put a cross dissolve in the middle of a scene that's not even going to a different location or even a different? It is in the same scene, and not to mention this is cross dissolve is so overly used in this movie. They could have saved probably 7 minutes off the runtime if they would have just jump cut from one scene to the next. But it's always a slow dissolve. But the one that really made me like, all right, this is fucking too much cross dissolve is when Robert De Niro is looking at the picture of Bridget Fonda younger on top of the TV. It shows the shot of the picture, and then it cross dissolves. They're still in conversation. The audio of the conversation is playing over the cross dissolve. It cross dissolves from the picture to Bridget Fonda in the kitchen, in the same scene. It's almost like I got the feeling that it was like a film student that just stumbled upon the cross dissolve effect and was just like, "Oh, this is so cool looking! I'm throwing it in everywhere." So that the cross dissolve, I had a problem with the overuse of cross dissolve.
I 100% agree with you. I
Thank
searched
you.
and
Thank
searched and searched for some creative reason to say it. Most people are like, "Oh, it's just Tarantino, man. You don't understand him." No, I agree with you. Less is more, and less becomes more, and especially when it's impactful. When you have the characters that should have been fleshed out, but characters fleshed out very well. But if those extra moments with the crosses off, you could have gave to Zeus Tiny Lister, you could have gave to Michael Keaton, you could have gave to Vargas, you could have gave to so many other people. And I do agree with you, and it speaks to what me and you talked about on the phone, which we'll talk about too later. Tarantino's editor. Mm-hmm. And so at a certain point, you can't, guys, let me tell you this right now. I don't care what set I'm ever on. If I feel like something is wrong, it's wrong. Me and him have both been on set. See, here's the thing about it. It's not when you're the lead actor. It's not when you're the director or the lead writer that makes you the shit. It's when you've been the director, the lead actor, and the lead writer, and then you're not. And then you're on project with somebody else and you're watching this stuff and you ask yourself, how much should I be involved here? Point being is that I do agree with you on that. Like, as much as I do love this film, I said I had nothing I would change. But at the same time, that was me as an artist. That was me as a fan. Mm-hmm. If you ask me as a student of film, we can dice this motherfucker up.
It might not even be the overuse as much as
it was bad timing.
It was the inconsistency. Like, if you're going to use an effect to go from one scene to another, fine. Use that for every scene. But don't also use it to show, that Bridget Fonda is younger than she was in that picture. Like, it should have either been used at that one time or to transition between scenes when time is passing.
So let me put you on the Joe Rogan podcast real quick and ask you, what's the difference between what you just said and that African American female that had the comment or that we let screen our film, I'm going to kill someone this Friday, when she said you're in Florida, if you're going to use Florida, use these colors because that's what you should do. That was someone who didn't write your film telling you what to do. You didn't write that film, and now you're telling them what they should have done. What's the difference?
The difference
Other than you're right and
is
she was wrong.
that she was unqualified to make that, and I am qualified. Because here's the thing: the way you successfully rebutted my about the interrogation, I can successfully rebut her in that with Kill. At least my issue, it's not that it's false equivalencies, because my issue with the cross dissolve is really the inconsistency in it. If you're going to use something, use it consistently in all of the same applicable places throughout the movie, or else I don't know what it just, if it's ununiform. It feels like slopped together.
Okay.
And with Kill, with the not making Florida look like Florida and the overexposure and all that. That was consistent through the whole. There was a consistent tone through the whole movie. So I stayed consistent. Whoever edited this did not stay consistent.
I 100% agree. I agree.
My last thing is the end. While it is awesome on the surface how everything plays out at the end, and she's f***ing over this guy and he's f***ing over this, the way that all plays out is fantastic. But it falls apart immediately. When you
according
consider
to you,
this is
according to you, could you at least say that? Can you at least say that?
In IMO, it falls apart immediately when you consider the fact that this is all transpiring in a high-scale clothing store. Do you mean to tell me that there are no CCTV in this store in the 90s, that any single detective or somebody involved could have looked back and corroborated the story with what's happening visually? They would have seen Robert De Niro and Mel walk in with a bag. They would have seen who walked out, who came in. It would have been blown immediately.
What I'm going to say to you right now, I don't think I've never had a film thought in the real time as someone who you're one of the few people that can challenge me or at least ask me a question and make me answer it. And as much as I love this film, I have to say that you're 100% right, not even 99% right. You're 100% right. I've never thought of that perspective, and that's what makes our show beautiful, is that we don't discuss these things pre-hand. You're correct. You're right. You are correct. They would have saw the tape. They would have saw all of this, which is why what you have done based off of, before you saying that, I had nothing I would change about this film. Now, by you saying that, you've manifested me only slightly, let's call it what it is, adding to the film. If I had to, I can't even call it adding. I would have changed one thing. He should have went with her at the end. Because to me, that would have been, this almost might have made, and that's why you can't make a perfect film.
Yeah, they had to disappear.
They had to disappear because what the point you are missing is like, yes, like you're thinking with that the amount of now, not even, you're not, you know what? Let me tell you, let me not disrespect you. You're thinking back then,
I'm thinking 1998.
But guess what? By the time they would have saw that, she is so educated. And here's like, oh, here it is. Yes, you've done it.
Okay,
you have done it. This is why Jackie Brown wins in my mind. You've been your own. I knew you'd do it. I knew you'd do it. I knew you'd do it.
The emotional manipulation.
No, I knew you
like jumped me up like, you just proved me right.
You did.
I thought you were going a different direction.
No, you just proved me right. You are right. You know what? Think about it this way: this badass, intelligent queen, then this MIT non-applicant, which means she could have went, but she didn't apply. She pulls off this heist. Everything goes on. I love that you used that word because I couldn't think of it earlier. Heist. At the end of everything she's done, she finally realized, like, for as smart as she was, she still had to take a gamble, which was put her hope in Max Cherry, Robert Forst's character. At the end, even after all of that being said, you are 100% right, David Blansky, Dirt and Godfrey. You are 1,000,000,000% right.
Stop saying I'm right.
No, because you are. You are, because guess what? I've seen this movie 1,000,000 times and I've never thought about what you just said. You are correct. And here's the thing. I don't think the writers thought about this. I'm not going to say, oh, they're so smart they thought about this. No, this is just something, this is a happy coincidence in my opinion. You're right. They could have, Michael Keaton's character and Vargas, the other gentleman's character, could have went back, and they not could have. They would have. It's not even 99%. They would have went back and looked at the tape, and they would have saw everything that happened. There's one other person that knew that other than you.
Who?
Jackie Brown. Mm-hmm. Which is why, think about this. It wasn't even 24 hours after the robbery. She was already on the way out of town. And even with all that being said, without saying it, she didn't come to him and say, you do realize they're going to look at that tape and you finna be a suspect. Because if there was a Jackie Brown too, Max Cherry ass is in jail.
Which I'll get to that.
All right, so with that being said, before you get to that, she still, with all that being said, she realized I can get away with this scot-free. I ain't ever got to see Max Cherry again. But with that being said, you know what? It truly shows you, and this is what I love about this film, and I think it's a happy accident, which is why it's my number one, David. And I don't think I've ever told anyone this, not even my brother. You have a black woman who is from an area that Max Cherry could never imagine. And she's living a life that he could never imagine. And you have Max Cherry who's living a life that, because see, this is what I don't think people realize, and I don't feel like I'm a sucker for this. I feel like you're stupid if you think that. See, as a African American man, which I take pride in saying, because I was stolen, my at least my family was stolen, and after everything I've been through, the miracle in life is that I still try to see that people just don't have skin. It's truly somebody inside. I'm not going to be blinded by that. To me, that's rudimentary. That's elementary to just see this and say, oh, well, I already know what he believes. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the stupidest thing. And it's also stupid for me to see somebody that has my skin and be like, oh, Black Power, brother. Oh, no, even Tupac said it best. Like, I thought nobody would ever shoot me. But my point is, this is what's beautiful about this film. Here's this black woman that mentally is devoid of what it's like to really understand that people outside you can trust. You know, she's willing to trust somebody that doesn't look like her so much because somebody that looks like her so much was willing to put her through the motherfucking meat grinder, which is the reason why that we're in the position we're in today, because people that look like me sold people that look like me. If you think I'm mad at motherfuckers that look like you, I'm not. I just got to y'all. You know why I just got to y'all? Because I had to deal with the motherfuckers who look like me first. We just got to y'all. Believe me, if you think we call what we call y'all, imagine what we call the people that did us the wrong way. But I say all that to say this. This woman that had all that background, still with your point of saying that, hey, they're going to review the tape, every tape. She still went back by his office where they should have tape and tried to take him because she knew that they were coming for him. And she's like, listen, me and you, let's go, without saying it. Like, hey, Max, say I got this, I got the car, I got the keys, let's go. She's saying, without saying it, I know there. It's some Wolf of Wall Street. You remember how Leonardo DiCaprio looked out for old boy's character? He wrote him a note, and they still found it, and they came and got it. She was basically writing that note without writing it. To me, this is more intelligent than Wolf of Wall Street. She's trying to tell you, come with me, in layman's terms, come with me, Max. They're going to review the tape. They're going to know it was you. You're going to get up, and you ain't got none of the money. Remember, he said, I felt bad keeping as much as I did. You're going to feel real bad when you got to pay for this lawyer. Max, I know it's a risk. Come with me. And he didn't come. And she left. David, fuck Juilliard, and fuck, what's the guy, Hamlet. This, man, Jackie motherfucking Brown.
All right. That'll motherfucking make you happy.
Not even a little bit. A lot. Can I smoke? No, I don't need to ask because I'm on fucking fire.
That's all I got is for my room for improvement. I got a few more little ticky-tacky things that I'll get into in the Thanksgiving, but those are the three main things.
Why didn't you even... No. See, guys, if you don't know, David, why didn't you retort anything I said?
Oh, that last statement?
Yes.
Okay, so the first one, the interrogation, I gave that to you. You got that. The second one, the cross dissolved, you gave that to me.
I did, yes.
This one, I still say that... while I agree with all of the implications of everything that you said, what it could possibly mean, for it being the main thing that this whole movie is leading up to, it should have been, like, I can agree with what you said, but I think that it's not that. I think that it was Quentin Tarantino saying, all right, well, and not even Quentin Tarantino, because it's an Elmore Leonard story. So
Rum Punch.
I don't know.
Rum Punch. We never brought it up. Rum Punch.
Yeah. So I don't know how much of it was in the book and how different the adaptation is to
I'm
the
sorry,
screen.
really quick, guys. I'm sorry from our readers out there. I know we're doing That's the Trailer, but if we ever do That's the Bookmark, this story was adapted from Rum Punch. Please look at the author of that.
Elmore Leonard.
Without Elmer Leonard, we don't get this. And Quentin Tarantino, what is the word they use? Inspired by it. So, gotcha, kid.
So, but yeah, the last thing, I think it was more so Quentin Tarantino or whoever just trying to make something work because it was convenient. Like, this story was more based on the dialogue, the character development, the relationships. So I felt like the actual heist itself took a back seat as far as like how like
see,
if that was not thought out as
but
much
you proved
as
my
the
point by
story.
saying this. I'm not going to say you didn't say this earlier, but every Tarantino film you mentioned earlier, this I'm not going to say this is the only one you feel this way about, but this is the first time in the entire episode that you said it's something that my brother said. It's based on the dialogue. It's based on the character development. I always talk to you about character development. You know that's one of the biggest crutches about me is character development. So even when I read your stories, I'm like, this is why I want to do this. And then you tell me, well, hey, I know you want to do this, but this is why I see this going. I'm like, hey, I love that character so much I can't do that character. That's not me. So my point is this: is that this is the first time you've mentioned me from like I heard you talk about Reservoir Dogs. I've heard you talk about Inglourious Basterds. I heard you told me you try to get through Hateful Eight, and I've also heard you told me you haven't seen every Quentin Tarantino film, and I also haven't seen his film. And just like you, it's been the latter years because when you set the bar so high, I don't want a limbo anymore. But with that being said, you're telling me that you look at this film and you see it from character development and dialogue. You've not mentioned that about Pulp Fiction. You've only mentioned story, 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 story. So this is the one you're fleshing out.
And I'll get into that for Thanksgiving too.
Okay, well, let's move on.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right.
okay, cool. It's getting a little testy in here.
So what would you have changed about Jackie Brown? Do you agree with what I would have changed? Do you think you're more in his camp where it's near perfection? Let us know in the comments, and let's move on to.
He's so slick. He says near perfection that this I don't understand that. Either agree with him or say it's perfect. He's so slick. Okay.
Look, if you have some kind of emotional connection to this, like he does, that makes you blind to its imperfections. That near perfection, I think, is a nice way of putting that.
I've seen one.
Let's move on to
Vanilla Sky.
All right, we'll get into that.
No, we never won't.
Oh yeah, we will. Find us in all these links. It's coming up right now.
Why don't you subscribe? It'll last longer.